A new hit sci-fi show based on a Stephen King novel is taking the massive risk of repeating one storytelling decision that has weighed down many adaptations in the past. Although the show does a decent job of bringing a compelling Stephen King story to the small screen, it may not be able to sustain its momentum if it leans too heavily on that same flawed approach. When it comes to television, Stephen King adaptations have been experiencing somewhat of a drought since 2020's The Outsider. The thrilling HBO show was the last Stephen King adaptation that managed to land in critics' good books and earn a high Rotten Tomatoes score. The latest TV series based on a Stephen King book does not come close to being as acclaimed as The Outsider. It still manages to be compelling enough to garner mostly favorable reviews and even gain enough viewership to get renewed. Unfortunately, it seems to be treading the same path as many failed Stephen King TV shows. MGM+'s adaptation of Stephen King's The Institute introduces many changes to its source material. However, for the most part, it follows the same narrative structure as the original novel and exhausts almost all major beats from its storyline. Surprisingly, despite this, The Institute has been renewed for Season 2. Its renewal confirms that the show plans to go beyond the book's narrative and adopt an original storyline. Given how many story beats from The Institute Season 1's ending remain open-ended, Season 2 seems to have plenty of room to expand. A few characters who end up dead in the book's final arc also survive in the show, which leaves even more space for the series' growth. However, since the titular facility gets destroyed by the end of The Institute Season 1 and even the main young characters manage to escape from captivity, it is hard not to question whether there are enough stories for Season 2 to tell. Original storytelling can work wonders, but many previous Stephen King adaptations have struggled after veering away from their books. A closer look at many Stephen King TV and movie adaptations reveals that almost all sequels or follow-ups to his works have only worked when they were based on a story written by him. Take, for instance, Dr. Sleep and IT, Chapter 2, which found success because they were directly rooted in King's novels and expanded lore the author had already crafted. Original follow-ups, like the Pet Sematary prequel, Salem's Lot sequels, and the ridiculous number of Children of the Corn movies, were all doomed to failure because they tried a little too hard to etch their own identities beyond Stephen King's original work. Under the Dome was another show that faced wide criticism after going its way in Season 2. Castle Rock, which does not ground itself in one specific Stephen King story and adopts an original narrative that combines many elements from the author's works, is a rare exception in TV that has earned acclaim despite doing its own thing. The Institute, too, could rank among the exceptions, but only time will tell what the future holds for its upcoming installment.